Consider this, the internet is like a giant bustling city. It has buildings, which are websites and servers. It has roads, which are the networks that connect everything. Millions of people live and work in this digital city every single day. We send messages, buy things, and store our most precious information there. But just like any big city, there are locks on the doors to keep things safe. Sometimes, however, people with bad intentions, called malicious hackers, try to pick those locks. They want to break in, steal information, and cause all sorts of trouble. This is where a very special kind of hero comes in, a hero you might not have heard of before. They are the ethical hackers. These digital detectives, also known as white hat hackers, are the good guys. They are experts at understanding how locks work, but instead of using their skills to break in and steal, they help us build stronger ones. So what does ethical hacking actually mean? Let's break it down. The word hacking often sounds a little scary, doesn't it? We picture someone in a dark room typing furiously on a keyboard to break into a secret computer system. That kind of hacking, the illegal kind, is called malicious hacking. But ethical is the key word here. Think of it like being a doctor for a computer system. A doctor runs tests to find out if anything is wrong with a person's body. They might take an X-ray or a blood sample to look for hidden problems. An ethical hacker does the same thing for a company's website, a mobile app, or its entire computer network. They perform a security checkup. This process is also sometimes called penetration testing, or pen testing for short. It's a very descriptive name. An ethical hacker tries to penetrate or get through the digital defenses of a system. The most important part of this whole idea is permission. Ethical hacking is always done with the full knowledge and consent of the organization being tested. Who are these people, these ethical hackers? They are not mysterious figures hiding in the shadows. They are highly skilled professionals, just like engineers, scientists, or doctors. Many of them have college degrees in computer science, information technology, or cybersecurity. They are curious people who love solving puzzles. They enjoy taking things apart, figuring out how they work, and then putting them back together again. Ethical hackers are incredibly important because technology is everywhere. We use computers for banking, healthcare, shopping, and talking to our friends and family. These experts work in many different places. Some are hired directly by large corporations like banks, technology companies, or healthcare organizations as part of their full-time security team. To be a great ethical hacker, you need more than just technical skills. You need a strong moral compass. Trustworthiness is everything in this profession. Ethical hacking isn't a chaotic free-for-all. It's a structured, methodical process. Think of it as a scientific experiment. You start with a hypothesis, you conduct tests, you gather data, and you report your findings. First and foremost, before any hacking even begins, is the planning and permission stage. This is the most critical step. The ethical hacker and the organization sit down and agree on the rules of engagement. After the planning is complete, the actual hacking process can begin. It usually starts with reconnaissance, which is a fancy word for gathering information. Just like a detective would investigate a suspect, an ethical hacker learns as much as they can about the target system. Then comes the scanning phase, where they use special tools to probe the system for open doors and windows. Once a potential weakness is found, they move to the exploitation phase, where they try to gain access. Finally, and most importantly, they carefully document everything they did. They write a detailed report that explains the vulnerabilities they found, how they exploited them, and, crucially, how to fix them. This report is the real treasure. It's the blueprint the organization can use to build up its defenses and become more secure. Okay, let's dive deeper into the first major phase of an ethical hack: reconnaissance and scanning. Think of this as the preparation phase before a big mission. Reconnaissance is all about gathering intelligence. The ethical hacker acts like a spy, trying to learn as much as possible about the target organization and its digital footprint from the outside. This could include visiting the company's website, looking up employee profiles on professional networking sites, or even searching for technical documents that might have been accidentally posted online. The goal here is to understand the landscape before launching an attack. Next comes the active reconnaissance and scanning phase. Now, the ethical hacker begins to interact directly with the target systems, but in a very gentle way. They might use tools called port scanners, which are kind of like knocking on every single digital door on a server to see which ones are open. The scanning phase provides the ethical hacker with a detailed map of the target's defenses. It tells them where the walls are, where the doors are, and which of those doors might be unlocked or have weak hinges. Once the reconnaissance and scanning phases have identified potential weaknesses, the ethical hacker moves on to the most exciting part, trying to gain access. This is also known as the exploitation phase. Here, the hacker takes a specific vulnerability they discovered and uses it to break into the system. They might use a pre-written piece of code called an exploit that is designed to take advantage of a particular flaw, or they might craft their own custom attack. For example, if they discovered that a company's website is vulnerable to an attack called SQL injection, they might try to trick the website's database into giving them information it shouldn't. After gaining initial access, the job isn't over. The next step is often to try and escalate privileges. This means that if they got in as a regular user with limited permissions, they will try to become an administrator or root user who has complete control over the system. This leads to the phase of maintaining access. An ethical hacker wants to demonstrate how a real attacker could remain hidden in the system for a long period of time without being detected. They might install a backdoor, which is a secret entry point that would allow them to get back into the system later. After successfully demonstrating how to gain and maintain access, a real criminal would try to cover their tracks. They would attempt to erase any evidence of their presence, like deleting log files or altering system records, to avoid getting caught. An ethical hacker also goes through this phase, but for a different reason. They simulate this activity to show the company how an attacker might try to hide and to test the company's ability to detect such behavior. It helps the organization improve its monitoring and incident response capabilities. However, the most important part of this final stage for an ethical hacker is not hiding, but revealing. The ultimate goal of the entire process is to help the organization become stronger. This is achieved through the final report. This isn't just a simple note that says "I got in." It is a comprehensive, detailed document that outlines every single step of the process. Most importantly, the report provides specific, actionable recommendations for fixing each vulnerability. It doesn't just point out the problems, it provides the solutions. This final report is the blueprint for improvement. The ethical hacker's job is complete when they have delivered this blueprint and helped the organization understand how to use it to build a more secure digital environment for everyone. It's really important to understand the huge difference between an ethical hacker and a malicious hacker. On the surface, they might seem similar. Both possess advanced computer skills, both know how to find weaknesses in digital systems, both might even use some of the same software tools, but that is where the similarity ends. It's like the difference between a surgeon who uses a scalpel to heal a patient and a mugger who uses a knife to harm someone. The tool is the same, but the intent is worlds apart. Malicious hackers, often called black hat hackers or crackers, are the criminals of the digital world. Their motivation is selfish and destructive. They break into computer systems for personal gain, which could mean stealing money, credit card numbers, or personal information that they can sell. Ethical hackers or white hat hackers are the complete opposite. Their motivation is constructive and protective. They are security professionals who are hired by companies to help them improve their defenses. Their goal is to find vulnerabilities before the bad guys do. There's also a third group known as gray hat hackers. These individuals are a bit of a mix between the two. While their intentions might not be malicious, their actions are still legally questionable because they did not have authorization to test the system in the first place. If there is one single idea you take away from our exploration of ethical hacking, let it be this: permission is everything. It is the bright, shining line that separates good from bad, legal from illegal, and helpful from harmful in the world of cybersecurity. Attempting to access any computer, network, or data that does not belong to you without explicit written permission from the owner is a crime. It doesn't matter if your intentions are good. It doesn't matter if you are just curious. Without permission, it is not ethical hacking. It is simply hacking, and it can have very serious legal consequences. Think about it in the physical world. A locksmith who is hired by you to open your door when you've lost your keys is a helpful professional. A person who uses the exact same tools to pick your lock and enter your house without your permission is a burglar. The skill is the same, but the permission is what makes one a hero and the other a criminal. The contract and the clearly defined scope of work are what give an ethical hacker the legal and moral authority to do their job. This protects both the hacker and the organization they are helping. Companies need to be able to trust their security testers completely. They are handing over the keys to their kingdom, and they must be absolutely certain that the person they've hired will not abuse that trust. In conclusion, ethical hacking is a powerful and necessary force for good in our increasingly connected world. These skilled professionals are our digital guardians, working tirelessly behind the scenes to find and fix the security holes that could affect our daily lives. They help protect our finances, our privacy, and our safety. By thinking like the attackers, they help us build stronger, more resilient systems. So, the next time you log into your bank account or shop online with confidence, take a moment to consider the work of the ethical hackers. They are a critical part of what makes the internet a safer place for all of us to work, play, and connect.